Pancakes should be sweet. Should they also come with more than half your daily sodium allowance? IHOP is doing billions in business, but there are a few things you should know before dropping your own dough at the chain. There are a lot of claims out there that IHOP doesn't use real eggs in some of the egg dishes on the menu. This is actually a half-truth. The real story is that there are no fresh eggs in the omelet or scrambled egg dishes. Instead, the company uses a bagged liquid egg substitute when making these items. But this isn't the same as fake eggs, as IHOP's mixture contains bona fide egg whites. So they are still real eggs, just not fresh ones. As a customer, this information can come in handy when ordering, because there's a catch. If you want fresh eggs at IHOP, you can get fresh eggs. All you have to do is specifically say that you want freshly cracked eggs when you order, and pay for the upcharge. An egg substitute isn't the go-to in all IHOP egg dishes either. You'll automatically get fresh eggs on any order you ask for poached. All in all, it's still a bummer that one of the most famous breakfast restaurants in the world uses bagged egg substitute in any dish, but at least there's a workaround to keep it fresh. Aside from the fact that IHOP's omelets aren't made with fresh eggs, there's yet another sneaky aspect, and it's what makes them extra fluffy and delicious. You may not notice if you're not the type to read every word on the menu, but the recipe includes buttermilk pancake batter, which explains why many of the omelet dishes are so high in calories and fat. All you have to do is peek at the nutrition label on any of IHOP's standard omelets to confirm. Even for a plain omelet, you'll find a long list of ingredients, which includes flour and sugar, the main ingredients in pancake batter. A simple omelet with no toppings has 440 calories and 33 grams of fat, 9 of which are saturated. For anyone who follows the FDA's daily recommendations for nutrition, that's around 20% of the recommended calories and nearly 50% of saturated fat in a single plain egg omelet. To be clear, that's over double the amount of calories and fat in a normal 2-egg plain omelet, according to the USDA. No one thinks the food IHOP serves is the pinnacle of nutrition, but they may also not realize just how heavily processed many menu items are. This lack of customer knowledge isn't IHOP's fault, though. The nutrition information of every item on the menu is listed right on the website, so it's up to customers to check it out. Some items on IHOP's menu might trick you into thinking they're healthier than they really are if you don't study them hard enough.
What's the square root of pi?
IHOP?
For example, from the sound of it, IHOP strawberry banana protein pancakes could be fairly healthy, right? And they indeed include a whopping 38 grams of protein. However, they also contain 740 calories and 18 grams of fat before adding butter, syrup, or sides. The other protein pancakes on the menu aren't much better either. For example, on top of 40 grams of protein, the lemon ricotta blueberry protein pancakes also have 730 calories and 23 grams of fat. Does the massive amount of protein make up for these pancakes being so unhealthy in other ways? That's up for each customer to decide, but it's worth mentioning. This goes to show that you can't let health buzzwords like protein pancakes fool you, especially not at IHOP. It's not a health-conscious restaurant after all. Some of IHOP's dishes are high in calories in a normal way, and other dishes take it to an excessive level. The latter is the case with IHOP's Nashville Chicken Melt, which has an astounding 2,100 calories, the highest caloric value on the whole menu. Now, compare that to the FDA recommendation of 2,000 calories per day. It doesn't take a math whiz to realize that eating a Nashville Chicken Melt means consuming more than a whole day's worth of recommended calories in a single meal. The only IHOP menu items that come close are the Nashville Hot Chicken and Waffles with 1,740 calories and the Buttermilk Crispy Chicken Strips and Fries with Nashville Hot Sauce with 1,890 calories. Whether it's the fried chicken or the Nashville hot sauce that's causing the calories in these dishes to skyrocket, it's better to be aware that you're choosing to eat that many calories in one meal before it's already done. The FDA recommends consuming no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, so anyone following those guidelines might want to think twice about dining at IHOP. The nutrition facts throughout the menu tell a grim story about how much salt you're consuming, no matter what you choose to eat. For example, the menu item with the highest sodium content is the Buttermilk Crispy Chicken Strips and Fries with barbecue sauce. It has an astronomical 4,540 milligrams of sodium, nearly double what the FDA recommends, and many other IHOP items aren't too far off. For example, even the more standard menu items like the original buttermilk pancakes or the big steak omelet have shocking sodium levels at 1,560 and 1,750 milligrams respectively. The gluten-friendly pancakes have the lowest sodium content, yet they still have more than half the recommended daily sodium intake with 1,250 milligrams. Regularly consuming a lot of salt is not ideal in terms of health, as it can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, kidney problems, stroke, and so much more. For this reason, it's probably better to make your trips to IHOP a treat rather than a regular outing. If you're ever at IHOP and try to order something healthier, it makes sense that you would go to the salad section of the menu.
I love having salad for lunch. It's not heavy.
At IHOP, however, ordering a salad is no guarantee that your dish will be healthy. Let's look at IHOP's chopped chicken salad, which comes with a choice of crispy or grilled chicken. Both are way less healthy than you probably think, before you even add any dressing to the mix. As a shocker to no one, the grilled chicken version of the salad is slightly healthier overall, but that's not saying much. It has 700 calories, 50 grams of fat, 19 grams of saturated fat, and 1,920 milligrams of sodium. To put those numbers in perspective, the FDA counts that as 64% of the total fat you should eat in a day, 95% of the saturated fat, and 83% of the salt, all in one deceptive salad. The version with the crispy chicken is worse, but not by much. It has 840 calories, 57 grams of fat, 20 grams of saturated fat, and 1,690 grams of sodium. Either way, it's likely a lot more than you bargained for when you order a salad thinking you're making a healthy choice. An IHOP cook hopped on Reddit and told the public that the restaurant does not make hash browns from scratch, which might be hard to believe considering that hash browns are so easy to make. Why buy a processed version when the original is so simple to make, especially when potatoes are such a beloved breakfast side? Nonetheless, the cook said IHOP's hash browns arrive, quote, dehydrated and in a big cardboard carton. To make them, the cooks just have to add hot water to rehydrate them before grilling. If you take a look at the long list of ingredients for IHOP's hash browns, the cook's claim seems legit, as it includes things that wouldn't be present if they were made in-house. While this isn't the worst news possible for IHOP's hash browns, learning that yet another menu item is processed is not ideal. IHOP isn't known for its steaks. Turns out that there's a good reason for that, and it's unrelated to the fact that IHOP is most famous for its breakfast food. The consensus among online reviewers is that IHOP steaks are not that good. One former IHOP manager reported on Quora that more people complained about the T-bone than any other item. They also mentioned that all the meat is frozen, which helps make sense of the complaints. The fact is, a frozen steak is rarely going to be as good as a fresh one. If you look at the ingredient list for any steak on IHOP's menu, you'll notice a lot of preservatives that are commonly found in commercially frozen food products. So the ex-manager's statement checks out. So if you plan to order a steak from IHOP, expect for it to have been previously frozen so you don't end up hugely disappointed.
I'm like, you want your T-bone from IHOP, anything other than well done. I'm gonna need you to sign this health waiver.
The kids menu at IHOP specifically says it's for ages 12 and under. Many restaurants are firm about this age limit, preventing adults from ordering these less expensive items. But sometimes adults crave chicken strips too, or they simply don't have the appetite or budget for the larger portions on the adult menu. IHOP gets this, which is why adult customers are usually able to order off the kids menu. IHOP is a franchise, so technically every restaurant can determine its own policy about how to deal with adults who order off the kids menu. This being said, different IHOP patrons on Reddit have confirmed that at their locations, IHOP servers had no problem with them ordering off the kids or 55+ menu. Either way, if you're an adult at IHOP looking to order off the kids menu, it's probably best to just ask your server first. A friendly smile can go a long way.